Are we live? Are we live? Just going to check the sound, so excuse me for a second. Okay, there we go. Can I hear me? Yes, I'm massively out of breath because I've been running around. Okay, let's get rid of that. This isn't any less daunting the second time around. I hope everyone is well and dealing with our current crazy COVID-19 situation. I know it's pretty much the same for everyone all over the world at the moment. So, I'm just hoping that you're all okay and your families are safe and stuff. The weather at the moment in the UK is just beautiful, really is. And let me just get these comments up so I can check what's going on. Dale still JOVID 19 stone. Yeah, I'm not far off 19 stone, to be fair. I think I'm definitely around 16 anyway. Way more than I should be, but hey, that's what happens when you get old. And I am quite tall. Do I mention my height in any of my videos? I think I might a couple of times. But anyway, cheers everyone, and as I say, I hope you're all doing well. Thanks a lot for all of the support again since I last spoke to you 10 days ago. And actually talking about that, the last live YouTube video that I did, my first ever one, was a great success. It was really, really good. I really enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed having a few glasses of wine, talking to you guys and girls, answering some questions. And just the whole thing was great. I was planning on doing another one on Wednesday night, but I got delayed filming some stuff on my 7 series that will be coming very soon. Managed to film quite a decent stationary-ish video on that. Let's call it a COVID-free or COVID-safe video on that car. So that's coming very soon. But yeah, it's been awesome. Oh my God, someone's already donated. Now, honestly, guys, like last time was just blew my mind with the donations and stuff, and I honestly that's not my intention with this. Obviously donations help, but seriously, I appreciate it so much. I can't even say. I mean, watching it back, I literally did tear up last time when I started getting donations. So thanks very much for that. But yeah, let's crack on. Enough of me talking. You listen to me blabbering on all the time. I'm going to start with Richard SZT, who did leave a donation, so thank you very much. Just saying, love your channel, fan from Ireland. So thank you very much, Richard. I really appreciate it, mate. Dad's half Irish. I think a lot of Brits have got some kind of Irish in them. But from Donegal, right up north, not Northern Ireland, but right up the north of Ireland. Haven't been for years. I was in Dublin a few years ago. Love it out there, but it's always cold and always wet when I go. So hopefully it's nice over there at the moment, and you guys are dealing with this COVID situation as well as you can. I'm going to get that mic out of the picture. It looks like a really bad hair clip or something, doesn't it? Anyway, right. So let's have a quick look through all the questions and comments, lots of evenings and highs and everything else. So how's it going? Delta Dubai 03, big shout out to you. Love your comments. You're always very descriptive, and I just love your constructive criticism, and I love reading your comments. They're always very long, but very interesting. So thank you very much from the UAE. It's awesome. I love seeing the fact that already Ireland, the UAE, I just love. In fact, let me know where you're from. If you're not from the UK, let me know in the comments where you are from, because it's always very fascinating seeing how far this live chat or my audience is. I know I've got like Aussies and Kiwis and South Africans. It's just great. I love it. It's really, really cool. Russell Newark loved the video with Andreas. Yes, he liked being driven. It seemed like it was great. I honestly urge you to watch the first one if you haven't already. I know it's an hour long, but it is interesting. Because he's just so fascinating, and yeah, it was great. I'm glad I managed to put that video together with the one camera that I had, because I think people like yourself will appreciate it. He's an interesting guy, very, very interesting, intelligent guy, and you can see why Alpina are who they are and how they are, through Andreas and his old man and the whole team down there. It's an amazing old school company, I would call it. There's a lot of passion, just love it. It's very, very, very cool. So we got from NDHLOVU. I won't try and pronounce that, but you are South African. So, nice one. Hope it's all okay down in South Africa at the moment. And great to have you on the channel. So thanks very much for joining in. Am I going to the British Grand Prix from Kiran Anand? Let's see if it happens. Let's see if it happens first, and then I'm not sure. Did I go last year? I didn't go last year. I haven't been for a couple of years. I did used to go all the time, but it used to always rain, even though it was in, July normally or whatever. Always pissed with rain when I went, so I stopped going because I found it more interesting watching it from. The thing with the F1, it's great going to an F1 race, but it's you almost come home from an F1 race, if you go and watch one live or MotoGP or anything, you come home and the first thing I do is put the TV on and watch the race back again, because when you're at these races, you just, you half the time you've got no idea what's really going on, who's leading and stuff, but so it's great, but let's see what happens. So fingers crossed we get to see at least some of the F1 season. Otherwise I fear a bit for F1 actually. I think it's I don't think there's too many years left in F1 with the way the current climate is going. F1 cars, they were always meant to be it was always meant to be technology that would trickle down into cars, and now with the unfortunate future of electric cars, I can't see that F1 is going to be around for too much longer. Like brands like Mercedes, what do they have to gain being in F1 anymore? They've been there, they've done it, they've proved themselves, 10 times over. They don't need to be there anymore. It's just a big waste of money, really, for their brand. But then, Formula E still got a long way to go before it becomes anywhere near as watchable as F1. So let's see. Let's hope F1's still got another 10 years in it, and we can enjoy it. Bring back the V10s, I say. It never happened. Anyway, let's have a look. Whoa, comments are coming in thick and fast now. Okay, so Porsche going to join the F1 grid. Are they? Oh, I didn't. That's from Kiran Anand. Oh, Kiran, sorry again. I didn't know about that, but that surprises me if they are. But anyway, Ollie Bassett, the GT4 is waiting for you to drive, Joe. Well, yes. Once this lifts, I've got a lot of things on my list to drive, and that's definitely one of them. So yeah, GT4, and there's a few leaks recently of the GT4 Club Sport, I think they're calling it, which is, I wouldn't say it's as pretty as the GT4. It's quite an aggressive looking car. But then I remember when the GT2 RS came out and I saw it at Goodwood at the first time, and I thought it just looked a bit too tech art for an OEM car. And now fast forward a few years and it just looks fantastic. So, okay. Well, another very, very generous donation from Steve Ramsey. Thank you very much, mate. The Brewdog arrived. Life isn't so bad. Glad to see you well. Thanks, buddy. I've actually... What was I on? I was on something else. I can't even see what beer it was, some kind of lager. But now I'm on some really nice Merlot. Actually, it's lovely, this stuff, really good. It was on a special. I only ever buy wine when it's on a special. So, yeah, look, it's got legs and everything. Ooh, pretending to know what I'm talking about. Honestly, got no idea, but it tastes good. It's not off, that's for sure. Right, let's crack on with some of these questions. How do I get this chat up to the main screen. Let's have a look. Maybe if I go full screen. Nope. Sorry, just bear with me a second, guys. I need Patrick. Patrick, where are you? Patrick! Okay, yeah, this will do. Yeah, my buddy Patrick. Patrick Films was formerly known as Becoming Patrick, and then all of a sudden, overnight, he just became Patrick. I mean, it was a shock for all of us, but he finally became Patrick, and he's my go-to tech and anything guy. Oh look, my hair clip's coming back up again. I've got to hide my little hair clip. Let's put it a bit lower. Let's put it down here. Okay. So got my control and tits t-shirt on. Control and shift t-shirt on. Available at Control and Shift. Some people are a bit confused. I've seen a few comments in the past month or so, people going, "Oh, I'm a bit sick of you calling out that brand." Well, it's actually my brand. I share it with my best friend, Jonathan. So, so surely it would only be natural that I shout out my brand and I wear my t-shirts in my videos all the time. So, yeah, that's why I talk about Control and Shift all the time. But yeah, massive support and thanks to all the Control and Shift buyers. And also, Petrolped, for those of you that don't know, he has also got his own Control and Shift line on there. Really nice t-shirts. So that's all available on the Control and Shift website. At the top, you just go on the Petrolped link. And there's more stuff coming as well, other YouTubers. Anyway, right, so let's crack on with some questions because I'm, becoming Patrick. Wait, you're becoming Patrick on here though, Patrick. Oh no, you haven't become Patrick on YouTube, but you have in real life. That's really confusing, mate. Okay, well, Patrick has not become Patrick yet. Only not fully become Patrick. I didn't realise that. Okay, let's have a quick look at some questions. From HB, Joe, wishing you a happy Easter and good health. Quick question. Do you miss your M140 and would you buy another one? Sure, Tony TRL would have one hidden away somewhere. Very good question. And I do get asked that quite regularly. And yes, I do miss my M140. I think I miss it because it's just such a great daily car. It's a car you can just have fun in, going 2 minutes down the road to the shops in. And it's a car that you can have fun in up to sort of 7 or 8 tenths. It's very practical, and I just love the look of those like little bread van 1 Series, the previous gen, the F Series. I just think the F20s. I think they're great looking cars. So yeah, I do miss it for a number of reasons. Tony probably has got another one hidden away, although I don't think legally he could have. But I don't know. Who knows with Tony? He always says Tony's like a bit like the equivalent of Ferrari or McLaren, even McLaren in the sense that McLaren will bring out a new model. This is the this is the last iteration of this, blah, 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 and then they'll bring out another one. Tony's like that with cars sometimes. There'll always be a last, but then there'll be a last. So has he got another M140 hidden away? I don't know. From G9 EC, is that like Juicy? It kind of looks like Juicy. Would you swap a 435D for a 440i or a 335D for a 340i? Depends what you want it for, really. I mean, the 40i is always going to be a bit more appealing to the ear, maybe a bit more sporty because they rev out a bit more than the 35 diesels, but performance-wise, there's very little between them, and obviously the 35D is going to be more efficient. And the 35D does still sound pretty good. From Ferg, would you rather only be able to short shift or never able to do 100% throttle? Oh, so would I rather just be able to short shift or never be able to do full throttle? I think short shift. I quite like short shifting, especially with modern engines like what's in my M2 competition and the RS4 that I've got. They've got so much mid-range punch that you kind of do short shift, whereas I think if it's an older car, an NA engine, then I would want it the other way around. Anyway, yeah, I think I've confused myself. another donation from Dave Hilton. Top European road trip country recommendations, Tar. Dave, thank you very much. I appreciate your donation. I have been thinking about this lots, actually. And in fact, I think I said it. No, I didn't. No, I'm editing a video at the moment where I ask the YouTube audience for their favourite car and where would they go. And because I'm sure a lot of us petrol heads are spending a lot of time at the moment thinking about, you know, our favourite, where we want to be right now, driving a car flat out. I would have to say, there's so many, but I tell you what, where Steph, ABTV and I had that RS7 just over a month ago, which is hard to believe, a place called the Red Rock Road, which I first discovered through Petrolhead Tours. They've been going there for years. I know it's James, Mr. JWW, it's one of his favourite roads, and Tim's, Shmee's. It is just a fantastic bit of road. I mean, it's brilliant. So that's probably one of my favourites, and I'd like to go back there with something a bit lighter than an RS7 on winter tyres, because that wasn't ideal, although the car did wonders. That any random day of a Petrolhead tour would be my ideal road trip right now. Just any of the days that we had, aside from the motorway commutes and obviously the ferry, because they're just outstanding. So hopefully that answers your question, and I hope you're well. Steph, ABTV in the house. Easy now. Hello, darling. Did a road trip to Sainsbury's. It was majestic. Well, mate, we've got to do what we can do. The funny thing is, though, you say that, and but it is funny that, that any little trip, you know, I went to the supermarket today and it's beautiful weather, windows open, and you just appreciate just being out there in the car. I think there is going to be some good things that are going to come from this situation that we're all in. Plenty of bad things, don't get me wrong. I mean, horrific, horrible things, but also we've got to look at some of the plus sides, you know, if we're fortunate enough not to have any illness and stuff for our, you know, friends and family and ourselves. I think when this does all lift, we're all going to be so grateful to do things like just Steph's just said, go down to the shops, but like be able to just do whatever we want. I'm going to go out for a drive this evening, as I would this evening. Look at it out there, it's beautiful. I'd be in my car now, you know, probably filming something. We're going to really learn and, you know, appreciate that freedom. But Steph, I hope you're well, mate. Miss you, darling. Matthew Van Blurk. Hey Matthew, how's it going, mate? What's your favourite watch and sunglasses brand? To be fair, as you might have noticed in a lot of my videos, I'm not really a watch person. My brother is. I've purchased a few decent watches over the years. I mean, when I say decent, like no more than say 300 or 400 quid's worth. I'm not like a 10, 20 grand watch person. I don't have that money, but it doesn't even interest me. I don't like watches. I think it stems back from when I used to ride bikes all the time. Didn't like anything on my wrist because I always used to get arm pump, and I've got quite slim and slender wrists for the size of my hands. I just never had anything on my wrist. So I'm not a watch person, but sunglasses, I would get over there if I didn't have. It's Oakley all the way. Always has been, and always will be. When I was really young, I used to actually get sponsored by them for my riding. I used to get a few pairs given to me and some goggles and stuff. And then I purchased them for about 20 years. And then about 2 years ago, I had someone on Instagram reach out to me that works for Oakley Europe, who said that they were going to send me some glasses, and they have, and they sent me many pairs. And I'm so grateful for that, because he noticed that I always wore my one pair in every video, and he was like, I think I'm a bit sick of seeing them. Let's send you some more. So yeah, but that's not the only reason. I love Oakley sunglasses. All right, let's catch up. Charlie Simpson, hey Joe, a bit of a boring question, but have you ever driven a Mark 6 GTD Golf, and would you say it's one of the best all-rounders? Hey Charlie, great question. Let me just... Oh, that's good. Very good question. I think any Golf, over the years, not that I'm a car expert, but obviously I'm an enthusiast, and I think whenever a family member or friend or someone that maybe isn't so into cars like I am asks me about a car, what's the best car for 5 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, whatever, I always seem to gravitate around a Volkswagen Golf because they're Golfs, you know, they just do everything. They're fantastic. Yes, they might not be as exciting to drive as maybe some others, or they might not be, I don't know, as interesting to look at as some other brands, but as a package and as a used proposition, very good. I know the Mark 6 had a few, the early Mark 6 ones. So what we're talking, early Mark 6, let's see if I can get this right. Oh God, this is going to be scary. Let's say 08 maybe? Oh, I don't know. 08, 09 maybe. Anyway, the earlier ones I think they had a few issues with. But then, no, I'm way too early, I think. Maybe 2010, whatever. But yeah, providing it hasn't got too many owners, I think with used cars, whatever I used to look at, and I had always advised is, although it might be 10 years old or whatever it is, never buy anything that's got too many owners. So a 10-year-old car shouldn't really have more than, say, 3 owners. If it's got 5 or 6 owners, walk away, because that usually means that it's maybe a lemon. It had issues when it was new, so it was returned to the dealer. They fixed something, it went to someone else, they had issue. If it's got that many owners, then walk away from it. But yeah, full service history doesn't necessarily have to be a Volkswagen history either. As long as the first couple of stamps are Volkswagen, if it's at a specialist or something, they're always just as good. I think people always get this whole paranoia around main dealer history. Yes, it's important when the car's in warranty and when it's new, but otherwise your local specialist is going to do just as good a job on servicing it. Right, next. Hopefully that helps, mate. Rob Booth Automotive has just given me £5. Thank you very much, Rob. Really, really appreciate it. Love the channel. Been watching since you hooned the 525D in the Alps. Is the M140 manual gearbox really that rubbery? ZF, excellent, but less involving. Rob, firstly, thank you very much. I'll give you a cheers and an excuse to have another sip of wine. Well, that's 525D. In fact, you know what? I've got to watch that video back. That was great memories. I went down to see my auntie. That was a very unexpected. I think I hired something much lower than that, and they upgraded me or something. I can't remember what happened, but I had it was my Brompton. That's right. I had my Brompton, and yeah, that was a great few days. So yeah, well, thanks for watching my channel for that long. I really appreciate it. M240. Well, do you know what? If I'm being honest, with the 140 and the 240 manuals, I've not driven. So apparently, this is all here. So I should know this factually, but apparently the 135, which I had in manual, that gearbox was different to the one that's in the 140 and 240. And I think, if I understand it correctly, the 140 and the 240 manual box is in fact the same one that's in my M2. So in which case, yes, it is a little bit rubbery and notchy because that's just a BMW manual gearbox. And it's never going to be a Porsche like that sort of shotgun, sort of metallic feel that a Porsche's got. But yeah, if that's the case, then absolutely it'd be a brilliant car. Yeah, I've never. I need to try and drive one. Actually, I can't believe I've never driven a 1 or 240 in a manual box. So I can't say gospelly, but I can say that I've heard it's got the improved gearbox in it that I have in my M2 competition. In which case, it's brilliant. It's a really good gearbox. 6th gear is very short, so long journeys it does use a lot more juice. But otherwise, yeah, it's great. Really nice. Really good. Thanks for the fiver. I appreciate it. Luis Teodoro. Hi from Portugal. Hey, buddy. How's it going? What do you think about the M4 competition package? I'm glad that you called it a competition package because so many people call it a competition. And actually, it's not. It's a competition package. And the M2 is a competition. But anyway, not that I can talk because I get things wrong as well. But what do I think about the M4 competition package versus the M4 competition package convertible? Have I tested the convertible? I have. I've driven a convertible very briefly. And I have to say that especially with the 4 Series, with a 911, not such a big difference. With a Boxer and a Cayman, not a tiny difference. I think a Boxer is about as good a convertible as you can get with a tiny trade-off to have the roof off. The 4 Series, hand on heart, it kills that car. It's still, if you jumped in an M4 convertible, competition package or not, you would still think, oh, this is an impressive car. But compared to the coupe version with a hard top with much less weight, it's nowhere near as good. So personally, I would always go hard top. And if you really want some, some of the sort of surroundings and you want a hole in the roof, then I know a lot of people would disapprove of this as well, but get one with a sunroof. You lose the carbon roof, but you get a sunroof and you're certainly still benefiting from 99% of the car. You may be losing 1 or 2% of the performance by getting rid of the carbon roof, or probably less than that. But yeah, chopping the whole roof off and going for the convertible, I just think they feel a bit flexy, they feel a bit heavy, they feel a bit disconnected. They're less practical inside. The rear seats have got less room. The boot's got a lot less room. And have we just lost the live stream here? No. And also, yeah, they feel blunted. They feel like they're lacking some horses because they weigh a lot more. So that's my advice. Go for the coupe. Let's have a look. Benjamin Gingster. Or yes, I think that's how you pronounce it. Any plans for petrolhead tours this year or trips with Shmee? Well, would Shmee mind me saying? Probably not. No, in fact, definitely not. Well, Shmee, if COVID-19 didn't happen, I would currently be at the Nürburgring with Tim, Benzene Ben, and a few others, would be down there right this second for Car Freitag. And that was going to be an epic trip like we did a couple of years ago. So it was going to be Paris and Reims and Nürburgring and then up to Amsterdam. It was going to be great. But anyway, that's obviously not happening because nothing's happening. And petrolhead tours, I hadn't planned on doing any because I just didn't have the money this year. And obviously this current situation is not going to help me with that. So I didn't have any petrolhead tours. And I think, to be fair, Pete and Dan don't actually know which tours are going to go ahead yet or not. So in a way, it was a blessing for me, but for them, it's obviously a horrible situation. They had to cancel things like Scotland, which would have probably been around now, in fact. So yeah, definitely petrolhead tours next year, though. Yeah, I can't go too long, and that's all I've been thinking about is bloody petrolhead tours at the moment. You're stuck inside, and that's all you can think about. So anyway. Let's have a look. Rob Booth. Oh, yeah, sorry. Thanks for the answer. No worries. Nick C. Was the M3 Touring your favourite car you've ever filmed? I wouldn't say it was my favourite car. It was probably the most unique and special car. But the logistics of getting that shoot together, because we're all busy. It was winter. The weather was terrible, hence the car being dirty. All those people that keep saying it was dirty. It was difficult to film. As in the weather made it difficult. There was a lot of things against us that day. So it could have been far more amazing. And the road that I picked wasn't as great as I thought it was going to be. In reality, there was potholes everywhere and there was traffic. It was, So it was an amazing car. And I just think, Nick's car is just amazing. But in terms of like the most amazing car I've ever filmed, definitely not, because I mean, even like the recent Steph trip down with the RS7, that was far more amazing in the sense that we put that car through hell and back, and we did some amazing things with that car. So those sort of shoots are the fun ones. Whereas Nick's one was great, but it was a very rushed. Yeah, we had to try and get the content up and the level up, and I'm glad we did, because the views are obviously down to the car, but everything else, the views are going. I think it's on like 625,000 views, which is miles more than any other video I've done. So massively grateful for that. Okay, let's have a look. There's a few conversations going on here that I'm obviously not into. It's not that I'm not into them. I don't know what's going on. From Datoda, after looking at the E63S and the M5 Comp, I've declined that 180k is too much for these cars due to depreciation. So I'm looking at a used 675 LT instead. Do you have any experience with the 675 LT? Wow, well, that's very random, going from an E63S and an M5 Comp to a 675 LT. I mean, I've driven Tim's 675 LTs, both of them or one of them, I can't remember. Did a lot of miles in his Spider, his current one. Absolutely love it. It's an amazing car. Would I personally want to own a McLaren? Probably not, just because of the reliability issues and the expense of them. I don't know what they are used, but you have to be with a McLaren, any McLaren, whether it's a 12C or a current sort of 600 LT or 720S. You've got to be very wealthy to be prepared for things that might or might not happen. So I personally would never buy it. I mean, unless I won a lottery tomorrow, I wouldn't buy a McLaren, just because I couldn't afford for anything to go wrong with it. But yeah, I mean, they're amazing cars. That's the problem with the McLaren. The after service and most of the dealerships are not, well, some are good, some are bad. So yeah, I can't really answer that. I don't know. It's too random going from an E63 M5 or an M5 Comp to a 675 LT. Very, very, just, yeah, different end of the scale. Okay, let's have a look. Harry Archer. Hi, Joe. Hey, Harry. How's it going? Have you ever done the North Coast 500? Yes, I have, mate. In fact, check it out. It's one of my Petrolhead Tours videos, so it's in my playlist. It's probably my second or third video down in the playlist. It's my Scotland Petrolhead Tours. Check that video out. It's definitely worth watching. Not because it's going to make me 1.5 pence in ad revenue, but because it's, yeah, it would show you the North Coast 500. What a place. What a place. So check that out. That will answer that question. Jamie Houghton, when are you joining Steph ABTV on Forza Horizon 4? Very good question, Jamie. Steph and I have actually been talking about this a little bit. But unfortunately, I'm a Gran Turismo. I've always been a Gran Turismo man. I say I haven't played like arcades. What do you call them? Arcades. That's how old I am. Consoles, simulation for years. I mean, little bits and pieces on Patrick's, but I'm actually just about to get a PlayStation 4 and Gran Turismo Sport, because that's, to me, that is, yeah, that's like my dream. Although seeing Steph's pictures and these amazing Roadster app trips that he does, I mean, they just look great. In the time, you couldn't make it up, really, could you? In a time and the situation like we got at the moment, watching his road trips with like fellow petrol heads, I mean, it's just brilliant. So I'm actually, yeah, I'm not going to be getting Forza Horizon, but yeah, it looks amazing. Jimmy Villa. What watch do you wear when you drive people? Were you the same person that asked me about the watch before? I can't remember. I don't wear watches, and I don't wear watches when I drive people. I'm not into my watches, so yeah, I don't. And also, if you're referring to like my actual job, my chauffeuring job, I'm the majority of my clients, I'd say 99% of them are I'm smart casual with. So I don't wear a suit. I'll wear like some smartish blue jeans and either a pair of smart trainers or some fairly casual shoes, and a shirt at most, and a reasonably nice jacket. That's it. The majority of people I look after don't want me in suits, so they're kind of like, my clientele are a bit different. So the fact that I don't wear a watch, I don't need to, thankfully. Right. Whoa. Okay. Jack Payne's just slapped down a £20 note. Thank you very much, Jack. Appreciate it. My brother's called Jack, so you must be a better. No, only joking. No, I love my brother. Thank you very much, mate. Hey, Joe, love the channel. Hey, how do you plan on celebrating when you reach 100,000 viewers? Also, who do you look to on YouTube for inspiration? That's very good. Firstly, thanks a lot, Jack. I appreciate it. That's very generous of you. Well, I was actually thinking about the 100,000 today. It's bizarre because last year I was actually saying to myself, or thinking, geez, it's going to take me another 2 or 3 years to get anywhere near the 100,000. January the 1st, I think I was pretty much on 60,000 subscribers. So like almost to the one, I was there on January the 1st. So I thought to myself, well, if this is a good year, maybe by the end of the year, I'll get somewhere near 80 or 90. And then next year I can, anyway, long story short, it's been flying. And I think by about Tuesday or Wednesday, I will be on 90,000. So, I mean, in 6 to 8 weeks, I could be on 100,000, which is just crazy because, I mean, that's just a dream. Trying to, like, getting that plaque from YouTube will mean so much. I mean, 100,000. So, how do I plan on celebrating? I don't know is the answer, but I need to put in some work and time and effort to try and plan something to celebrate that. But yeah, so watch this space. And who do I look to for YouTube inspiration? Well, I mean, there's a lot of YouTubers. I did a video recently talking about sort of people that I watch and I aspire to, whether they're car-related people or not. And once again, on this live stream, I did forget to even mention and talk about my buddy Raz, who has removed before race. His stuff's just incredible. So who do I look? I don't really know. I mean, I love watching people like Henry Catchpole. I could watch him all day long. I just think he's so. There's nothing fancy. It's just pure sort of amazing journalism, and I think that he is the epitome of a really good journalist who knows what he's talking about, who knows how to drive, and who knows how to express exactly what he's feeling onto camera. And I don't think that worked with a lot of journos. I think when it came to the YouTube thing, their amazing writing ability didn't translate to the YouTube side. So who do I watch? I don't know. I wouldn't say anyone like now. I wouldn't say anyone really stands out in the sense that, oh my God, I want to do and be like them. Obviously, Chris Harris back in the day was an inspiration for a lot of YouTubers. But yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I love seeing people like Steph's edits. I love, seeing someone like Raz's edits and Nick Murray. There's a lot of people that I love watching for various reasons, but then I like the fact that we've all got our own unique style of doing things, because I think if we all did the same thing, or if I tried to do what someone else did, then it maybe would kind of tread on each other's toes. So yeah, interesting question, but I didn't really answer either of them properly, did I? And you gave me 20 quid, so I do apologise. But thanks again, Jack. I really appreciate it. Stay safe. And I'll look out for any more of your comments. Okay. Lots of comments come through since I was last. Okay. Anup, how's it going, mate? I hope you're well. I've just seen your comments. Hope you're well. I don't know if you're speaking to, I can't figure out, but anyway. Good to see you, mate. I hope your YouTube and social media and stuff's going really well. So, Yep, good to see you. Let's have a look. John Crew, how's it going, John? I hope you're well, mate. Another legend. That plaque from YouTube for 100,000k subs needs an M badge. That's really classy. Yes. Yeah, maybe I could ask him to make me a special one with an M badge. Can you imagine if that got delivered, if it just turned up and I was like, oh my God, I finally, yes, 100k. And I open it and they've given me a silver M badge. Just, oh my God, that would be quite funny. But anyway, Lino Arajao. Hi, Joe. For when more road trips? Well, mate, how long's a piece of string? I don't know. Unfortunately, I would love to go on a road trip now, but we can't. So as soon as the COVID-19 situation lifts, well, I'm in two minds, because when we hear that it's going to lift, I really hope that my income, my business is going to suddenly pick up, and therefore I can't go on a road trip. But if it doesn't initially, I'm just going to have to go on a road trip. I'm literally just going to have to head straight out to the ring or somewhere, because, yeah, I've got all this pent up driving frustration inside me. Anyway, there you go. Motec, Mike from Motec, in the house. Thank you very much, mate. You didn't need to, that's just silly. You don't need to donate 20 quid, but you have. So thank you very much. That's very, very generous of you. Mike from Motec, for those of you who don't know, obviously, I'm sure you do know about Motec. I've worked with Mike since about 2016, I think. We've done loads to all of my cars, and he's always my go-to for first modification, second modification, whatever it might be. But yeah, Mike's always been very good to me, and yeah, we've worked well together. So thank you very much, Mike. He has said, "Hey, dude." It's definitely Mike, because Mike always starts any message, any text with "Hey, dude." Keeps me feeling young. Glad you're flying to 100k. Stay safe. Have a cold beer and us. See you soon. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. For now, I'll have a room temperature sip of wine. Well, I hope you guys are going well. Obviously, Motec, just like many other smaller businesses, although they're not open for business in that sense, they are online, open for mail order and that sort of thing. So I assume, Mike. Anyway, so yeah, make sure you do support them if you can, because well, if you can, that's the if, because obviously I know a lot of people are going through hard times at the moment. So thank you very much, Mike. Whoa, okay, so we've got how's it from Hugh? How's it going, Hugh? I've got to try and do a Welsh accent now. Boyo, hello, who? I just look special. What am I doing? Stop it, Joe. Stop it. Mate, I hope you're well. I hope your parents are well. Please send my love. How's the head after the fight with the cupboard? Well, that's a good question. So actually, it's not too bad, because I did ice it for about half an hour. And I think that helped. And then earlier on, a bit of a scab came off. So yeah, I'm thankful and grateful that it could have been so much worse. That was such an impact. But anyway, that's what you get for having a big head. I think I'd be keen to hear how many people have had accidents within their house during this time, because you spend too long inside, you are going to start bashing into things. Case in point. Okay, Sammy. Oh, excuse me. That was a little bit of a hiccup burp sort of thing. Sammy04. Thank you very much for the donation. I'm going to try and read what you put down. I'm not sure what's going on here. Something authentic and down-to-earth vlogs. Oh, thanks for... Oh, wait a second. You are clearly young and hip with all these like shortcuts. This is you guys are this is gonna be comical for you lot to watch me try and read what Sammy04's just written down, thanks for your, that's fucking cool, authentic and down-to-earth vlogs. Wow, this is properly high tech. I drive a 2018 M235i convertible. What would your recommendation upgrades changes for a stock car? Cheers, Stefan from Berlin. Wow, mate, you're well ahead with the time with the way you've written that. I honestly thought that you just like sat on your phone or something and but it's almost like code language. Wow, have I just cracked a code? Anyway, I can't speak. I'm not taking the piss, by the way. This is just like so beyond me. First upgrades would be, it's hard to say really. I think the 235i, firstly, get like a small little ECU remap, something like a JB Plus or Remus do one, or because that N55 in the 235 is a very soft tune, so you can quite happily get about 370, 380 brake out of it. It does change the character of the engine a lot, and if it's 235i convertible, it's probably out of warranty anyway, so don't go too crazy, just do that. Also, exhaust is another one, something like a Remus exhaust. Back then, you could get a whole Remus exhaust. You wouldn't have to worry about the bloody OPF filters and stuff. For me, it would always be springs and spaces, just because it looks so much better. And no matter what anyone says, it also does it improves the handling, and just the car just feels better on the road. But only little, like 20 mil lowering, 10, 12 mil spaces maximum. That's it. So yeah, that's what I would personally go for. But yeah, the 235i convertible, I was just talking about convertibles and the fact that the M4 and the M4 convertible, there's a big weight difference, but off memory, the 2 series, it's not such a big weight difference because you haven't got the big hard top, you've got the soft top, which is why I think soft tops are great. Right. Anyway, thank you, Sammy. And I need to learn how to read that sort of 2020 texting language. Yeah. Right. Oh, Motec. I've just seen you've said, I'll have 2 copies. You've donated, Mike, you donated 40 quid. So next time I see you, I will give you a beer. Whenever that might be. Right, let's read some more comments. Mark King, hi Joe, would you consider the new RS6 as an ultimate daily driver super estate? 100% I would. I think it's an incredible car. I mean, RS6s always have been. I do think I'm not the biggest fan of all the touchscreen stuff, but it kind of does impress a lot of people when they get in the car and they see all that. It looks beautiful, but it's just, for me, a bit of a pain to use. But you'd get more used to it, I think, the longer you had it. I can't wait to drive one once this lifts. I want to get one on summer tyres and give it a bit of a hammering, because it did well on winters, and I think on a set of summers it must feel amazing. So absolutely. Nick B, Joe, a decent beginner mountain bike recommendations? Good question, Nick. Well, I do a lot with Saracen, and I mean, to be fair, I think there's so many good mountain bikes out there at the moment, but it depends on where you're from and if you can get them. But Saracen mountain bikes, for me, are amazing value. I know the guys very well at Saracen who develop and change and produce the bikes. So I only really know Saracen, and I think what they produce for the money, whether you're spending 300 or 400 quid or whether you're spending 6 or 7 grand, they're very, very good, and they use very good components. So that's my recommendation. But I don't know where you are, where you live, and if you can get Saracen there. Right, let's move on. One second, where's that just gone? James O'Neill, 20 quid. Thank you very much, mate. It just says goal. I don't even know what that means, but yeah, I guess you just scored a goal. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. again, these these donations just keep coming in, and yeah. So thank you, mate. I appreciate it. Shame you haven't got a question. I'll keep an eye out for it just in case you have. But stay safe. Oh, here we go. James O'Neill. Go to the dark side. You know you want to Audi. Yeah. Well, I think the thing is, it's a bit like, say, Raz with Mercedes. He puts his hand up occasionally and says, yes, the recent RS. It's a really weird car because I just wasn't expecting to love it, and I did, and then Raz did. It was the RS Q3 Sportback by Audi. In isolation, the most pointless, stupid car you could ever produce. And I know every German manufacturer is doing it. But actually, in reality, one of the most interesting cars that I've driven, at least definitely this year, if not in the last 12 months. Absolutely love that car. So I think every manufacturer, if they're being honest, like if you took someone from a manufacturer, they would appreciate someone else's car in a certain segment. So I think it's the same with me. Although I love my BMs and I own two, I finance two. I think I can be the first person to appreciate something like the RS4 I've got outside. It's so different to anything that BMW make, and RS6s, and I mean, yeah, you know what I mean by this, I'm sure. And the same with lots of other cars. A lot of manufacturers have got standout cars that other manufacturers don't have or don't make in comparison. So really appreciate the £20, man. That's mega of you. Thank you so much. Terry Howard, I think you need more wine before the impressions. Well, I'm running out in this glass, but I'll see if I can get a top up. It's very good wine. Very, very good wine. Oh, Ewan has retracted a message. Oh, I wonder what that said. Let's have a look. Stephen Jeep. Stevie the Jeep. Anyway, I think there's a wine. Oh my God. Look, this is like a pit stop. 1 second. Watch this, guys. Up on the jacks. Quick. The wheels need replacing. Oh, thanks, Bubs. That's my other half, who's going to come on the channel very soon. No, she's not at all. This is so delayed. I'm watching myself back on the screen. But anyway, right. Moving on. I know. Where did I get to? I can't remember. That was your question. What do you think of the new Corvette? It looks great, but I haven't driven it, so I don't know. When anyone ever asks me about cars that I haven't seen, I haven't touched, or I haven't driven, I can only give my visual impressions and what I've heard from journalists I respect, and that's what you guys couldn't access anyway. So yeah, let's just see. Paul Bassett. Hi, Joe. Hey, Paul. How's it going? Hope you're well. What would be your top 3 cars under £100,000 in your garage? Now, I wonder if you mean £100,000 for all 3 of them, or each one is £100,000. Let's stick with all 3 being under £100,000. What would I have? Ooh, okay. This is just like going to be quick fire because I don't want to think too much into it. So I'd probably buy a 2016 or 17 original M2 for, what are they now, 25 grand, let's say? Let's say 30. No, they'll be 25 by the end of COVID. So 25 grand for an original M2 manual, number 1. Number 2 would be it's all going to be BMW. M5 competition, they're about 65. No, I've blown the budget. So number 2 would be a C7 RS6, 45 grand, let's say, for a nice 16 plater. So that'd be a facelift car. So that's 2. So that's 45, 55, 65, 70 grand. So I've got 30 grand left. 30 grand would go on all-out track tool. So maybe something like a retired Renault Clio Cup car, or something that is designed to take out a circuit and absolutely destroy. I would say something like a Caterham, whatever, but after after doing quite a few track days recently, I've got this hatred towards majority of Caterham drivers because they just don't give a shit about anyone else on the circuit, and they just don't use their mirrors because they think they're the fastest thing out there, and a lot of them aren't. Obviously, some of them are, and this is not obviously, I'm stereotyping, and I'm sure that anyone that owns a Caterham is hopefully going to be going, yeah, shit, I know about those people. But yeah, so as much as I'd love something like Caterham, or maybe actually, no, you know what I'd have? Aerial Atom. That'd be a used Aerial Atom, whatever 30 grand would buy me. Boom, there you go, done. And me and Benzine Ben could go out in that Aerial Atom and just giggle until we literally piss ourselves. Would wear nappies, maybe. Right, next. Moving on. Let's have a look. Oh God, am I quite far behind? I don't know. I don't know. Right. Okay. So let's just jump in here. Tom C. Just because I could pronounce that, Tom C. You know, it's a simple name for a simple person like me. Hi Joe, would you go M2 competition, M4 competition package, M3 competition package? Coming from an M140i. Good question, Tom. Good question, but I've kind of answered it in the sense that I've done exactly that. So I've come from an M140i and I've jumped into an M2 competition, but I understand why you're asking me, because obviously I've had some time to think about it. I've driven all cars. I have to say, it's a difficult one. I honestly think that the M3 competition package is the M3 CS is my absolute dream. M3 competition package, I just love the way the M3 looks. I think the M2 still has aggression, it looks great. But the M3, and also what I like, if we're talking stock cars as well, I like the M3 and M4 have got a bit more of a full fat engine tune, whereas the M2 comp, it's just a little bit retracted. So, yeah, I don't know, M3 competition package, maybe that, or an M2 comp. The M4 competition package, it's just as good as both of them, if not better. But I prefer the way the M3 and the M2 look. I just think the M3 just looks brilliant. I love the M3. I think the M3 looks the best. Look at Queen Bee, Becky's yellow. They just look great. They just, yeah, great. Love them. Charlie Simpson, hey Joe, me again. If you could have one car for the rest of your life, what would it be? No BMWs, just to spice it up. Charlie, well, the ironic thing is that a Porsche of many descriptions is my dream car if I had the money. So it'd be quite simple, really. I think 991.2 Touring GT3 manual. See you later. That's all I want. That's all I want. Yeah, that done. Happy. Sonny Rolls, your thoughts on road cycling? Well, I'm a cyclist, so I'm seeing a lot of people online on various platforms of social media at the moment, slating cyclists because they're out there riding their bikes, and it's COVID-19, so they shouldn't be out there riding their bikes. But I'm loving the fact that the cyclists are out there. In fact, I actually want to get a road bike myself and enjoy this weather and the freedom, because there's nothing better than a road bike in this weather. Just going out, if you live out in the country like I do. Road cycling can be massively boring, and in this country it can be massively difficult because we don't get weather like this regularly. And if you're doing it for fitness, trying to ride through the winter, it's dangerous. It's just horrible. Yeah. So I'm I love my road cycling, and I love seeing cyclists out there. There are big groups of road cyclists who can be a bit dickish and take up the whole road for no. That's the problem when they cross the line. When you approach a load of road cyclists on the road, and there's like 20 of them, and they're taking up the whole road, and they're not helping you at all by, if you want to try and overtake, they're not giving you any if I'm a cyclist, I'm with a group of cyclists, and a car comes up behind me and stops and waits I'm going to help them, because they've made they've stopped, they've slowed down, they've acknowledged the cyclists there. I'm going to try and let them get past where they can. I love road bikes, but the actual cyclists themselves, there's a lot of bell ends out there. But anyway, I'm more of a mountain biker. Okay, let's fast forward a bit. Okay. Sammy 04's back in the house. Sammy, thank you very much. Okay, I should be better at this now. Oh, but it looks. I was going to say, it looks like you've made this more Joe friendly, this message. Thanks for your extensive reply, Joe. I had to cut my quote down and use shortcuts due to the 150 marks limitation. Cheers, 35-year-old Stefan from. Oh, okay. Well, number one, you're not such a spring chicken as I thought you were. And number two, I understand why you did. I didn't realize there was a limitation as to how many characters you could put in to each message, but there you go. But see, I like this. This is Joe friendly, because there's enough in there. There's enough of a shortcut. But mate, thank you very much. I appreciate it. You can keep trying to explain yourself if you want. Just keep bringing the revenue in. But thank you, I appreciate it. Right. We've actually got to wrap this up soon. Just as I'm getting into it. I always kind of get into it towards the end because I think the wine starts kicking in. Right, so let's read some more questions. From Jim Nerman. Jim Nerman. How's it going, Jim? I hope you're well. Any great driving roads near West London? I grew up in West London, grew up in Paddington, and I live out near Gerrard's Cross now. I'd say there's less and less because of so not really. I would say like heading down towards Surrey or going up towards like North London. There's nothing really west. You have to go Oxford. Once you get near Oxford, there's some great roads. I mean, there are some really good roads. I would suggest going on Google and looking at roads around Oxford, and literally invest 2 hours on Google Earth and just plotting routes using like the images on Google Earth. That's how I plan a lot of my little trips. If I'm going to a new area or something, I'll go onto Google Earth, literally zoom in and drive along the route. Wantage, there's some great roads near Wantage. That's a bit further, about an hour and a half probably. But yeah, it's always worth making that extra effort to just get out a bit further. You get less people. So try that, mate. Warren Lee, what's your take on the M2 CS? Hey Warren, I hope you're well. Well, unfortunately, I was probably going to get to drive the M2 CS in a few weeks' time. I think sometime early May with BMW UK, but obviously because of COVID-19, everything's been cancelled or delayed. So I think it's awesome. I was a bit skeptical about it at first because it is a lot more money than an M2 competition. But when you get up and close and personal to one, they are nice, just like the M3 and M4 CS were. Things like the bonnet, just the details. After knowing my car very well and an M2 competition very well, when you get up close to an M2 CS, they are very special. I've heard, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a CSL out as well. So the CSL will be the real deal. That'll be more like a GTS. I think it'll be 2 seats, cage out. Because the problem with CS is it's still a lardy car. It's still well over 1,500 kilos. I mean, I think it's 20 or 30 kilos less than a M2 competition, but that's still really heavy. And so therefore a CS, although on track it's going to be better, it's still not going to be a track tool. And I think the CSL, let's hope they get the CSL down to something like 1,400 kilos. And if they do, then that's going to make a big difference. So interested to drive the CS, can't wait. I'm sure it's going to be an improvement over it will be an improvement over the competition without doubt. But I still think they're being a bit reserved, and there's going to be more down the track. So Mark King, very cool surname, Mark. There used to be a mountain biker called Mike King back in the day. Back in the day. We're talking probably late 90s. Mike King. Wow, he was one of the best. American guy. Anyway, hey Joe, out of the 3 main German rivals, BMW, Mercedes and Audi, who would you say tops it when it comes to styling and general interior build quality? When it comes to styling, I'm not going to go with BMW at the moment because I think BMW are very hit and miss. I think they get things right, like the new 3 Series, I honestly think is spot on. Well, it's been around for a couple of years now, but the current 3 Series. 8 Series is almost there, slightly odd from some angles, but then, the 1 Series is hardly a revolution. It's it's very similar to a lot of other hatches out there. The 2 Series Grand Coupe, and some of the incoming stuff. But then saying that, like my 7 Series, my current 7, when that came out, I was like, oh God, look at that. I'm going to have to buy an S-Class. But now I own one. I mean, it grew on me and now I've got mine, and I actually, video coming soon, but I really like the styling on it. So I think Audi have always done a very good job of styling. I can't think of a car that Audi produced in the last 20 years that's ugly. I think some of their designs are very conservative, like the bigger, the A6 and A8 anyway, very conservative. I think the A8 is too conservative to the point where it's slightly a bit dull and it's not special enough, but it's nice, but it's just not like, it doesn't stand out from the crowd. And I think that's what BMW have done with the 7. It's kind of given it a bit of a character, whether you love it or hate it. Mercedes are very good with styling. The only thing with Mercedes is I think the C-Class and the E-Class and the S-Class, they all look very similar. They're almost like the spitting image of each other, but in bigger variants. Too much so. So, but they're great. I don't know. Interior fit and finish, though, I have to say, I'm not going to mess around here. The actual build quality, BMW number 1. Fit and finish, don't care what anyone says. They might go, it's an old-fashioned cabin. It's the fit and finish in a BMW interior. The lack of squeaks and movement, number 1. Number 2 goes to Audi for just an Audi interior is always like going into an ultra-modern kitchen or something, something super high end. You walk into a kitchen shop on the King's Road and it's just like, wow, look at this. This is like amazing. And that's what an Audi interior is like. Whether it's for the good or for the bad is another question, the touchscreen stuff. And sometimes you do get noises and sounds in the cabin and you just think, well, I don't know. I think the actual build quality is not quite there, although the fit and finish is nice. And I think Mercedes, in my opinion, lost. And I know people always go on about Mercedes interiors being incredible to look at, but the plastics and stuff that Mercedes use are really cheap. And the creaks and the rattles, if you just get in any modern Mercedes, and you push around at some of the plastics around the dashboard, they always squeak and rattle and creak, and I just don't think it's there. Yes, the tech and the wow factor when you get in a Merc is like, oh, this is nice. But actually, when you start prodding around and having a look, the plastics themselves are not brilliant, even in an S-Class. So personally, I think Merc are behind in that sense, but it doesn't matter because their audience, a bit like a 5-star hotel in London, it might not get refurbed for 20 years, but it doesn't matter. It's still got the name, so people keep going back there. And the same with Mercedes. The tech's amazing, but the actual fit and finish, in my opinion, it's pretty iffy. Me being honest. Anyway, right. Last couple of questions before I bugger off. From Finley Freeman Fielding, more mountain bike content, please. Yes, I'll try and do some more. Maybe I could actually do some mountain bike content now. Well, as in, not right now, but because I've had too much to drink, but as in, yeah, it might be quite a good idea. Yes, okay, good idea. Shady GTR, have you ever experienced any problem with the head-up display? I have an M3 F80 competition. That's all I can see on that comment. So I'm guessing you might have done. I haven't personally with any head-up display on any car. But I'm sure it is going to be, I guess head-up displays have only been around, 5-6 years. So, or maybe a bit more, maybe 6, 7, I don't know. But I guess they are going to be things that are going to start going wrong soon. And units are going to fail. So I haven't had any issues, but I'm sorry if you have. Harry Archer, Mercedes won't lend you a car now. Well, Mercedes have never lent me a car, so I've got nothing to lose. I'm just saying it how it is. It's my. I think Mercedes AMG make the best engines. I think that without doubt they sound the best. Their power and torque figures are amazing. They're reasonably efficient. They are the best. They're nice to look at. But yeah, I'm just being honest. I think people that say Mercedes interiors are the best, in my opinion, are wrong. But that's it. But yeah, I've got nothing to lose with Mercedes. I've asked them a number of times for cars, and they just say no. So I don't care. Right. From Maku. Hi Joe, I had one of the first M140s bought July 16, 8-speed auto. Wow. What do you think about the clutch when manual 6-speed used cars have had about 40,000 kilometers already? How did your M135i clutch feel then? Very good question. And that is an early M140. July 16. When was that first one that I tried, that I bumped into that guy? That was later than that for sure. That was like maybe August or anyway, that was in the UK. So I'm assuming you're on the continent somewhere, you're in Europe, somewhere with kilometers. I guess it depends on how hard it's been driven, number one, because that's really, a clutch could last 200,000 kilometers with no issues if the car's driven smoothly and not aggressively. But in something like an M140, it's probably, especially a manual, you're probably going to have more of an aggressive driver in it. But my M135i clutch felt great. My gearbox and the clutch felt at its best when I traded it in. I can't remember the mileage I'd done. Maybe it was about 23,000. But anyway, yeah, very, very good. So 40,000 Ks, I would think that the clutch would still be very good, but depends what, is it 40,000 Nürburgring miles or is it 40,000 motorway miles where it's just stuck in sixth? So yeah, good question, but no idea. Let's have a look. This literally the last couple of questions, and then I'm having to call it a night because I need to eat. James E. Going from a pre-LCI M135i, would you buy or an M140i? That's a great question, James. If I'm being totally honest, I would buy an M2 for sure. I think there's no denying the M140 is a better car in several ways, especially compared to the pre-LCI M135, which was the original. I mean, that car's always going to go down as an all-time great, in my opinion anyway. but buying an M2 an M2 is going to get you a whole different animal. It's just going to be a different car. It's going to be a different feel. It's going to open up avenues to go and do track days. And in my opinion, an M2 2017 every day of the week. You're going to have the familiar N55 in there, but tuned more aggressively. That's where I would go. That's where my money would go. Super Gav, yay! Is that the actual Super Gav? Is that the genuine Super Gav in the house? I'm guessing it is. Hey, buddy, hope you're well. Big cheers from you, and many, many happy, laughing miles. Try not to spill wine down me. Okay, last couple of questions. I know I've said this a few times. Let's go with Drillon Ibrahimi. Pure turbo M140i faster than the GT2 RS from 60 to 130. Wow, I didn't know about that, but it doesn't surprise me after driving Ricky's pure turbo M4. But I mean, that's fast. I was going to say, but fast straight line isn't everything, but if it really is that quick, then that's just ridiculous. But yeah, straight line isn't everything. In my world, I'd rather have a car. That's why I think something like the original M2 is so great, is because it only has 365 horsepower, but it doesn't need any more. It's just such a great package. So I'm not like I've got a manual car, so I'm clearly not a straight line bandit, but that's very, very impressive. Super Gav. Yep, it's the one and only Super Gav. Classic, mate. Oh, Super Gav. What a legend. What a living legend. Oh, mate, I hope you're well. I look forward to doing some road trips and just seeing you soon. Right, let's finish this off. Levy Batty, best car for 15 grand. Ooh. Relating back to the start of this video, it would probably be something like, I don't know, would 15 grand get you a nice Mark 7 GTI? Probably would, just about. Or 15 grand would also get you a nice, probably LCI M135i. Either of those two. Well, if it got you a 135i, M135i, that's what I'd get. Dominic Brunzik, Joe, what would you choose? M5 competition or RS6? I've tried to answer this lots of times in various videos and live streams. I haven't driven an RS6 on summer tyres, so I can't say. I don't want to say, because an M5 competition to me feels far more accurate, faster, better driver's car. But that's only because I've driven one in dry conditions on the road on summer tyres. I haven't driven the RS6 on summer tyres, and so it just makes it so different that I can't say that I can't comment on that yet. From Akhil Raja, E46 M3 CS or 997 C2S? Ooh, very good question. I'm sure the 997 is a much better car. I love the M3 CS E46, but I'm sure the 997 has miles more potential and performance of that sort of era, because there was quite a big gap, even though the E46 was an iconic car. What would I have? I don't know. Going to sit on the fence. I'm going to say goodnight because I've got to go, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to try and do another one of these next week at some point, whether it's Wednesday or Friday night. But thanks so much, like I said, for tuning in. Thanks for all of the amazing donations. That was just ridiculous, as always. I really hope I haven't missed out any sort of major serious questions, and I hope I've been reasonably interesting. Take it easy, guys. Please stay safe. We're almost 3 weeks into the lockdown over here in the UK, which is really it's great to know that we're sort of almost 3 weeks in, because when the lockdown first happened, it was like, oh my God, 3 weeks. And obviously, I'm pretty sure it's going to go on for another 3 weeks at least. But to know that we're kind of, the 3 weeks have gone fairly quick over here in the UK, it's a great feeling. So stay safe, behave yourselves, so that we can all misbehave when this lifts. And yeah, thanks for tuning in. I will see you at the next live stream. See you later, peeps. Bye.